Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Opinion Machine, the show where we talk about all things gaming. My name is Killjoy, and today we're going to be talking about that Nintendo Switch OLED model here we have on the screen. This was an interesting surprise, but also at the same time this is exactly what Nintendo does with their systems and have done for a little while now. And yeah, I thought we'll just go over it. I'll give my thoughts on it. I can say right now it's unlikely I'm going to buy one of these, but let's go through it. Let's talk about it, and then let's talk about how the internet's kind of reacted and what I've been seeing. But anyway, so it's coming out on the 8th of October. It has this lovely white scheme here. This looks pretty sweet, to be fair. I do like it in white. The dock's looking better. But yeah, so it's an OLED model, which basically means it is a different type of screen, which is usually the OLED kind of screens, or OLED screens, are a lot more vibrant, as it says here, vivid colors, more vibrancy, all that good stuff. A lot of deeper, rich colors, basically. And as you can see, it's a 7-inch screen, so the bezel between here and here is a lot smaller. Well, I say a lot smaller. It's not. It's going from 6.2 inches on the regular Switch to a 7-inch display on this. So yeah, the bezel around the screen is definitely smaller. It's hard to say without actually holding one of these how much of a difference that's going to make. I mean, I imagine it probably will make a difference, and it might make a significant difference. But being able to see, I'd have to wait to see that really to honestly be able to judge, if it is that much of a difference. But yeah, slimmer bezel, large screens, vivid colours, and high contrast deliver a rich handheld and tabletop gaming experience, bringing games to life, whether you're racing at top speed or squaring off against enemies. And you can see, here we go, there's the smaller bezel there. So you're gaining about that much, I think. Most of an inch bigger. Not all, but most. There's a thing here that says what? It's an OLED screen, which I don't know what it tells you here. Does not have a backlit like LCD screens, instead displaying images using light emitted by each individual pixel. Deep blacks can be represented by turning your pixels light off, allowing for higher contrast, if you're interested. Probably one of the biggest features added to this system is this big stand here, which, if you know and you've got a Switch, you know that the stand on the current Switch model is pretty crap, and being able to have an adjustable entirety of the back of it now is going to make for a much sturdier stand. It's going to make it a lot better just to sit there and use in tabletop mode. Now, I'm not somebody who uses tabletop mode very often. In fact, I've probably used it about 4 times with my current Switch. But if you are someone who uses it, having the bigger screen and having a nice sturdy stand is going to make a world of difference. And it says here, flip out the stand and hand a controller to another player to share the screen and enjoy competitive or cooperative multiplayer anytime or anywhere. OLED model's wide adjustable stand can be set to your preferred viewing angle for comfortable gameplay in tabletop mode. Now, this stand can go back quite far from what we've seen. It does seem to go back to you can basically set it in multiple ways, which is really good. This is a significant improvement, as you can see here. Probably the biggest change, and the reason why I would want this dock, is adding a wired LAN port. The dock included with Nintendo Switch OLED features 2 USB ports, an HDMI port for connecting to the TV, and a new wired LAN port, allowing for more stable online play when playing in TV mode. This dock is, to me, like, if I can get the dock, which I believe they are selling the dock separately, if I can get the dock on its own, I would buy it just for having that wired LAN thing. That's super useful. And honestly, that should have been there on the standard dock. It's really dumb this is being added, but hey, we're getting it now. Something that's kind of a minor upgrade is this 64 gig internal storage. So now it's double what the original was. You can expand the available space using a compatible micro SD card. Download your favorite games. This is net. If this was like, oh, we're gonna stick in, let's say, 124 gig, or like, I don't know, near like 200 or something like that, that would be like worth it. I don't think doubling that 64 gig internal storage. I mean, the thing is, they're trying to keep this model fairly cheap still, so maybe they don't do that. But I honestly think if you're going to put in like double the storage, you might as well go more than that. You might as well at least put 100 gig in there, at least 100 gig minimum. But yep, it has more storage in it. The onboard speakers with enhanced audio enjoy clear sound when playing in handheld. I don't know what this means. I assume the speakers have got a richer frequency, or they've change some of the frequencies so it just sounds cleaner, clearer, and all that. Hard to say without using it. And then we have the Switch in its dock, next to its dock, and then the stand there. So you got the free play modes. This is the usual stuff. Joy-Con, same stuff. These are not different in any way, shape, or form in this new model. Tells you all the other stuff. Release date. It comes in 2 different colors. You can get the sort of neon one. I like the box. The box is pretty cool. But I think most people are going to buy this white one. With a lot of the Metroid marketing around it, that's going to look pretty sweet. And it shows you the specs and stuff. There's the OLED model, the dock, the Joy-Con grip, and all that. It doesn't look any different because it still basically looks the same, except for this screen's bigger. But you know, there's all the specs for it. Home menu, all the usual stuff, and there you go. That's pretty much what they've got listed here for this thing. That's fine. Just stick it on a nice picture. That'll do. Look, I'll be honest. Like, it is an interesting system that they're bringing out. It's an interesting revision. It does have benefits. If you do not own a Nintendo Switch and you'd like to get a new one, it's I think 310 quid in this country. So you're going from £280 to £310. That looks to be roughly what the jump in, and it's not a huge difference, but you have to ask yourself, what are you going to do mostly with it? The wired dock is great, but that means you're not going to be using the console in handheld mode, because in handheld mode, you're not attached to the LAN. If you're in handheld mode, you get a huge benefit in having a much nicer screen, but not the wired dock. So it's kind of weird, this system. Like, overall, you're getting improvements. If you're like me, who already has a Switch, and I see a Switch as a console and secondary as a handheld, I'm not the other way around. I don't see it as a handheld and then a secondary as a console. My Switch pretty much lives in my dock unless I'm browsing like the eShop or watching YouTube. So for me, there's no point in me getting this. Like, if I can buy the dock separately, which it sounds like I might be able to, then I would probably invest in the dock for my current Switch, because then now I can keep my current Switch and I've got a LAN port. So I'm like, oh great, perfect. But yeah, like, if you don't own a Switch, this is definitely for someone like you. But your average customer isn't going to give a damn about the quality of the screen. That just isn't the case. This is for people that have like more knowledge, but probably already own a Switch. So yeah, it's kind of hard to say who this is for. But it's a cool revision nonetheless. I think the fact that people are losing their mind online over the fact that this is like this so-called pro, well, like, look, you disappointed yourself. We didn't have any official announcements. We got like Bloomberg reports, we got Eurogamer reports, and all that stuff can still happen potentially. Like, I don't even care. Like, you know, I've got a Switch, I've got a current Switch, like a normal one. I've got an original model, I should say, and it does the job fine. It plays games. That's all I care about. Does it play games? Right? I've seen YouTubers, I've seen people in comment sections complaining and being miserable and being disappointed. Like, what did you expect? This is exactly what Nintendo does. They make these weird changes. They never do what people expect them to do, right? And if you look at the 3DS line, you know, you got to think the 3DS line itself has different pillars to it. You know, it's just how it is. It's just how Nintendo works. So anyone expecting them to make this like so-called pro model, like, yeah, there will be a model that eventually comes out that supports 4K. Whether it's going to have newer chips in it, I doubt it. It'll probably, to me, this is a stepping stone. They're going to bring this model out, and then the next model is going to be an OLED model, all these bells and whistles, and on top of it, it's going to have 4K output, and maybe more space, you know, and maybe a slight boost in power. But when like people expecting to have all these like extra new chips and stuff, like, that's not going to happen. That'll be the Switch 2, whatever the console after the Switch is, assuming Nintendo carries on this line. Whatever the next thing is, that will be that. You know, it won't be this revision that's going to have all these extra power, bells and whistles. And yeah, it means as time goes on and people figure out how to make games for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series a lot better, they're not going to port these games to the Switch. The Switch is, at this point, very underpowered. But Nintendo's never really cared about that. Like, they'll listen to their third-party developers who'll be asking, hey, look, can we have some more power? And they will probably do stuff to try and like alleviate that. Like, try and get, maybe they will put a new chip in, but it's not going to be a significant amount. It might be like 10-20% better. Like, that's about as far as I can see them going. It's not going to be like a 50% to 70% increase in whatever it is that they change. It just isn't. So this OLED model that we've got, like, at the end of the day, this is what we've got. And, you know, it's a nice piece of kit. It's not something I'm going to buy because I don't need it. It doesn't appeal to me because I don't play my Switch that much in handheld mode. But for people that like want to get invested and do understand what the difference is, I'm sure this is a nice piece of kit to buy. So we'll see what it does. It's coming out, and people are probably going to buy this alongside Metroid, the white color scheme and everything. That'd be great. Be good for Metroid. Be good for this system. This thing will probably sell about 1 million copies, like over the course of the winter season. But yeah, it's a revision. It's I don't need it. People complaining about it, saying it's not this pro model. Well, it was never going to be. Let's be real. Stop reading into everything. Stop listening to these people. You know, like at the end of the day, if they're going to release a pro model, it will come out when it comes out, right? Simple as that. And that's how you have to look at it. Anyway, that's going to do it for me today then, guys. Thank you very much for watching the video. As always, if you like the video, hit the like button. If you want to subscribe, hit the subscribe button down below, as well as Facebook and Twitter links down below in the description. And until next video, I will see you then.